erased a couple pages from my blog. I erased them because it's just kind of the same old thing all over again. You know, it's the same thing, it's the same pattern, it's the same cycle. It's the same thing I've been going through like all this time, all these years. I mean, what can I say? I'm stuck. I'm like trapped, you know, I really am. I'm stuck in my life. I don't know what to do next. You know, I try to do, you know, I do the things that I'm able to do. You know, I don't know who could be happy living the way that I live. Although, of course, I'm constantly accused of not minding actually living like this, that kind of thing. When in fact, you just kind of, you get used to how horrible your life is. You know, I don't even know how many times I've threatened to commit suicide. It's not a threat. It's just how I really feel at the time. But if you don't do that, then you live, and you have to kind of adapt to what your life is like. You know, you have to do that. Everybody does that. So, yeah, but it's not that I didn't feel the way that I felt when I wrote that stuff, but I was like, yeah, no, it's the same old thing that's been going on for years and years. It really is. You know, and I am not respected, and my privacy is not respected, and my boundaries are not respected, and it just never matters. It never matters. It's always the same. You know, dealing with people who don't really care about me, who maybe they're bored. Maybe they're as bored as I am. You know, bored, stuck in, you know, like or whatever it is. You know, they have like their lives, as I've said before, to me don't seem like particularly satisfying. You know, I don't think that I can live the way that they do and be happy, you know, with like nothing like just like of real substance, just, you know, spend my time on during the day. So much attention focused on me, and like, oh, and like me, like I am somehow, just because I happen to be somebody who ended up getting famous out of like the thousands of people who try to be actors or whatever it is, you know, who don't get there, somehow that means that I'm extra special, when of course it doesn't. You know, I mean, yeah, there's plenty of people out there who are just as smart and just as good looking and just as talented, who just don't choose to be actors, or they, you know, couldn't get there for whatever reason. They were not fortunate enough to do it. Although the question of whether or not you're actually fortunate is I think depends on how you think about the world. You know, I mean, there are probably people who were disappointed about that in their youth, or just got tired of it and were like, you know what, here I am, 25 or 30, and I've been trying to get somewhere in this business for a while, and it's going nowhere. And also the stuff that I have to do every day is something that I don't like, and I don't feel intellectually, you know, challenged. I don't feel like fulfilled by any of this, and I've just had enough. Maybe they feel bad about it for a while. But probably the smarter ones just realize that most of what happens in that industry is not really very good. It's not really very interesting. You know, certainly doesn't ask very much of people at all intellectually. Really doesn't, and is actually more corruptive and stupid than anything else. And they're happy to move on to do something else. You know, I happen to be a good writer. I'm a good writer. You know, it's kind of hard for me to be so good at something and to have like no opportunities for it, to get paid for it, because there's also other things I'd like to be able to do in my life. And it would be a lot easier if I had more money, so I could do them and not just have to go into monstrous debt to be able to do them. But if that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do. But I don't even know if I can get into that stuff. That's the thing that's been bothering me lately after not getting into that biotech program. Like, what if I can't do anything? Can't do anything, can't go anywhere. I'm abused like this my entire life, you know? And, you know, I'm lonely, very lonely, you know? I have to say, a joke I haven't really wanted to make, you know, because a joke I haven't really thought of it. I haven't really wanted to make. It's like Robert Pattinson, you know, you're a lot better than your average homeless, a lot better looking than the average homeless woman, you know. But it's like, and it's not even like I would be looking for a relationship with a female anyway. And it's just meant as a joke. It's not really, you know. I mean, it's like he had or seemed to have other qualities, but you're one of them. You're one of them, you know. You always have been. I don't know why I expected it to be any different. And yesterday in particular, it's you know, I was kind of stuck around the shelter the whole day because I was trying not to go out to spend money. So I had to try to find something to do with my time. If I had you know, had another book, you know, I could have probably just read that. But it also tends to not really be enough after a while. You know, a book, that kind of thing. It's like it's you know, you feel better when there's like an actual person involved. So it's like, what, he's using me, I'm using him, or at least it's you know, that whatever it is that was originally there in terms of like, you know, at the very beginning, what they thought of me and what I thought of them. I mean, there's just no real perspective on how I'm living and what it's like and how hard it is, you know. So they make me feel bad while justifying themselves to it, you know, just justifying it to themselves, not paying any attention really to like how hard and how painful and awful my life really is. It's like, I'm sorry, you have all the money and the friends that you need, right? Well, I don't. I don't, you know, and I'm sorry if like the only thing that you're able to understand is, you know, the idea of like me being in love with you, and then like you decide that you're gonna swoop in and defy everybody and take me off and put me somewhere, you know, despite my teeth and all that stuff, and that's like somehow just about you, right? Somehow just about you, you know, and your vision about yourself and how noble you are in the moment. And then what would that be like? You know, what would that be like? You know, I would have. I'll be the same person in some place that you put me, you know, as I am now, except even worse, you know, because I still won't be able to do anything, and it'll be even more people won't want to hire me, and even more people won't want to help me, and even it'll just be you and me, you know. And how long do you think that's gonna last, and what do you think that would be like, you know? Whereas, just there doesn't seem to be a lot of like, you know, range of possibility in terms of what these people tend to want to believe is, you know, an acceptable relationship, an acceptable situation for them. And as far as like the page that I wrote about Zac Efron, I was like, you know, yeah, sure, that's how I felt in the moment. But of course, he knows, you know, his movie can get absolutely nowhere, which I had nothing to do with whatsoever. You know, didn't try to bring it down, didn't try to talk it up, didn't try to do anything. And I really haven't had much to do with him at all over the past year. But if he posts something really disgusting and hateful about me, and I get a reaction, then like I have a reaction, I publish that, then he's back on the map. Right, that's how it's been working the entire time. So, and I kind of thought about, you know, like last night I was thinking, yeah, I'm still, you know, after I published it, I couldn't help having a reaction. He just goes out of his way, and always has, to be so hurtful and so disgusting and so disrespectful for so long. And nothing's changed at all. Nothing's changed at all. You know, and I suppose there can be some concern on my part that his life is really going nowhere. He just doesn't see it. You know, but of course he can just live off of abusing me the way so many other people have already done. So, you know, it's like, in addition to my just not really wanting to talk that way anymore, although I'm sure I will again, because it's just part of the whole mess of everything. You know, I erased those pages. I was already planning to erase those pages this morning before I saw that, like, the whole, you know, the WCVB is exploding, and they're bringing up all these old stupid news stories, and they're wearing all these nasty clothes, and it's like, you know, whatever. I actually, one of the things that's kind of been good that I've been feeling lately is I accept that the people who want to treat me horribly are going to do that. I can't make them stop. Yeah, I know that it's wrong. I know that I really, you know, I mean, nobody can really deserve what I'm going through, what I'm going through at all. And I am no longer surprised, and therefore, you know, it doesn't have quite as much power to upset me as it used to. You know, because I know that this is how they are. This is how they want to act. They have nothing better to do with their time, apparently, even though they're making so much money, and like, and I'm just broke all the time, and there's nothing I can do about any of it ever. You know, it's just I accept that it's like this. Like, I have this like horrible like just, you know, nightmare just surrounding my life at all times, and sometimes it eases up a little bit, but most of the time it doesn't, and they're always looking for a reason. And I guess I can say this too, because I've been thinking about this too. I've said this kind of thing before, but I haven't said it lately. The constant abuse is something that I have to consciously try, you know, to have it not make me into a meaner person. Like, all of the abuse, all the threats, the way that of course you know that in person I'm getting treated badly all the time too. You know, getting treated like being coughed at, being stalked, you know, like being disrespected all the time, having people not trust me really for no reason. Being treated like I'm stupid, all of that stuff, all the stuff that I go through all the time does not make me want to be nice to anyone that's like supposedly being supported by that stuff, right? So I've talked about that stuff before. You know, I mean, certainly in the times when it's just like when one of these guys is being like marginally nicer, it can be tempting at times to just be like, wow, you know what? Everyone says all this stuff about me anyway. I can't get anywhere in my life. You know, people like so many people are being so mean to me all the time. They accuse me of like wanting to steal people's boyfriends or date this person or date this person. Like even though I have like just no interest in doing that at all. But I'm so fucking tired of being this poor and alone and abused. And so I'm like the temptation is, you know, it's sometimes there. Just be like, that's fine. You know, you decided for, you know, these 10 minutes of your life that you're in love with me. I will take you up on that. You want to fly out here? You want to take me somewhere? Put me somewhere? I am totally fine with that. I am. If I'm going to be hated and abused, at least I don't have to be like stuck in a homeless shelter having it happen. I can have a little bit of peace and quiet about it for as long as that lasts, right? And even though that's not really what I want to do, and not how I feel in my more rational times, is you should know that like all of the abuse does not you know, it does not make me feel submissive. It doesn't make me feel that way at all.